Curious about closing costs in a real estate transaction? Today we've got the scoop for you. Hi everybody, I'm Tom Peach with Tom and Cindy and Associates at Long & Foster. And you're buying a home, you know what your down payment is, you know what your earnest money deposit is, but what are your closing costs gonna be? How much and what should you expect? Well, today we're gonna find out from Dave Rotel, Area Sales Manager for Prosperity Home Mortgage. Let's head to Chantilly, come on. Mr. Dave. Hey.
Tom, how are you today?
Pleasure to see you, my friend.
Always good to see you, buddy. How are you?
Yeah. Great. So I guess what? I got another question.
You got a question? All right. What do you got today?
Okay. So a few weeks ago, we were talking about down payments and how much people needed to put down and the different programs. And people also ask about closing costs.
Sure.
And so I wanted to take a little bit of a deep dive and ask you, so there's the down payment where if they're buying a $600,000 home and they put $10,000 down, now they only owe $590 on the house. But what about the closing costs they need to get to settlement that don't have anything to do with the down payment?
Sure. So every program is very specific, but in general, like I said last time, 3 to 5% is like a typical metric to use of what your closing costs, what you should expect. Well, let's take a little deeper dive on that. So what does that include? So you have origination fees on the mortgage side, which usually just encompasses your processing, your underwriting fees, such like that. Then you have an appraisal fee. You'll have a flood cert fee. Different, just standard protocol for
so the buyer typically pays for the appraisal,
sure,
and then you will order the appraisal.
Yep.
And what kind of timing is that usually?
It depends on the product. VAs are a little bit longer, but most they'll get back to you within a week to 2 weeks.
Okay, great.
Sure, but that said, now actually, by the way, nowadays, your house may even be eligible for an appraisal waiver if you choose to have it, where you may not even have to have an appraisal. But that's a whole separate topic.
Okay.
But back to the closing costs. So then you also have I'll just speak in the general terms. You have your title company costs, where a title company, your title insurance ensures that you have clean title when you're buying a property. Then you'll have your transfer taxes, your recording fees, and then you have what's a subject we like to call prepaids and your escrow. So prepaids, you're between the both of them, you're prepaying your homeowner's insurance for your property, you're setting up your tax escrow for your property, so that way you have an account already set up so you don't have to worry about that each year, accumulates monthly for you. And last, but I would mention is, so let's say you close on today, today's day of the month.
Sure.
You also prepay the interest between that day and when your first mortgage payment is due. But that's about it.
So if someone closes on let's say they close the end of September, when would their first mortgage payment be?
Some mortgage companies do it differently, but most likely if they close the end of September, it would be a November 1st payment. That's a general term, but I would always check with your paperwork because some do it differently. Some actually do it on 15ths of the months too, which is a little unusual.
Gotcha. So it's different for when you're renting, you're paying in advance for the month, but once you own a house, you're actually, when you make your payment, you're paying for the previous month's interest because you've set it up that way in the beginning with the closing costs.
That, and like I said before, the escrows, when you're setting up the escrows, you're setting up that tax account and homeowner's account so that at the end of the year when those bills come, you've been accumulating it each month throughout the year so you don't get hit with a heavy bill. That
makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Does anyone choose to make those payments themselves, like pay the county taxes or property taxes in a lump sum themselves instead of having it into their mortgage payment?
They do, because that's called an escrow waiver. So if you're ever going to do that, just check with your loan officer to make sure that they're able to do that. But you can take a look at that option as well.
I'd hate to be hit with that big bill instead of just paying a portion each month.
Yeah, but you like to keep those options open, so that's they can talk to their loan officer and they'll take care of it and let them know exactly what they can do.
Awesome. And do any of the closing costs change depending on the program that someone's using?
Yes, they do. So it really depends on there's so many different loan programs that are cater to each person's needs. So yes is the easy answer to that. But it's a complex answer past that. There's so many different details for each one.
So in general, just speak to your loan officer and they can work things up to know which is the best loan for you and what your down payment is with that loan, and then talk to you about the closing costs so you can have a good idea of what you need to save as you go out looking for that next home.
Absolutely. You know what? I'll even go one step further. A loan officer will actually present, hey, here are your best options, and then you choose, which is wonderful. You get to choose whatever one you like to do.
That is great. Well, we'll give everybody your phone number and we'll get people started and have everybody in their dream home.
Hey, we're always happy helping people find that dream home.
Everything you educate us on.
My pleasure, my friend.
Again, Dave.
Great to see you, Tom.
We'll see you soon.
Have a wonderful day, my friend.
You too.